Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jill Samter, and today I have a special guest for you. This is a day, and on Instagram is how we met each other because we are both carnivore. And today I am so excited that she gets to share her story with all of you because, like me, she was keto first. She went through the ketogenic journey and then decided that she needed to try the carnivore. And we're going to get to hear her story today. So take it away.
All right. Thanks so much for having me on. I love your channel and I love watching it. And it's especially helpful for me to see, women who are a little bit older and sort of not, in the gym all the time, but really thriving and doing well on carnivore. So I love watching your videos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I kind of came to this world sort of backwards. I lost my weight on keto, and I did really well, but I was always interested in continuing to do a lot of research about it, about why it works, and trying to find ways to optimize it. And over the years, I had run into, the zero carb world, as it was called then, a number of different times. And I was always very intrigued, but I thought it was crazy, because of the way that I thought. And, I've always been sort of interested in trying to be healthy and eating healthy. So I ate vegetables because I was told, these are superfoods, and I focused on the foods that were, considered to be like really beneficial. So broccoli and garlic and kale and how every vegetable has its moment in the sun. So over the decades, I've gone through periods of focusing on one vegetable or another. So hearing people eating this way, it was just kind of like, this is crazy. But I listened to Amber O'Hearn a lot. I really found her to be someone who was she seems very studied and measured. And so for someone who really has that approach to life, to find value in this way of eating, like, she's not someone you can just sort of blow off and say, that person's a flake. So I really did. Yeah. So I really did continue to listen to what she had to say, to research what other people had to say. And then I finally, I think it was in December of 2017, I was trying to lose a bit more weight, and I came across something called the ground beef and butter fast. Basically, you eat a cup of ground beef at lunch and a cup of ground beef at dinner with like 3 tablespoons of butter in each one of
Yum.
them. Yeah. Well, so on day 2, I was kind of like, oh my God, this is awesome. I feel and that was at that moment that I was like, okay, yeah, this is for me. So, so I continued to like work with it and try different things and study and see what people said. And I feel like now people have so much more information than we did, even 2 years ago. And even before then, like, there was really no information except what people tried themselves. So and I'm still trying to figure this out, but I know that this is my baseline, so I may over the years, like, try different things and move in different directions, but this is home base for me.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 48.
Okay, so we're not that much different. I'm only a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
But what I want people to hear, what I would like our listeners for both of us to hear is, in your 40s, hormonally we change so much. What has happened with you hormonally since you went carnivore?
Well, I don't know if you can use me as a regular case because, my hormones like are a mess. I've always had terrible, terrible cramps and had to work over the years to like deal with that. And then I have endometriosis. So in 2012, I had a cyst that burst, and it was a chocolate cyst. So it had, endometrial cells in it, and it was being fed by, there was another another cyst that was being fed by a blood vessel. So when it burst, I basically bled out into my abdomen over the course of 24 hours, lost 2 liters of blood. It was a whole big mess. And I had surgery. I had a lot of endometrial scar tissue, and they cleaned a lot of that out. And then over the next couple of years, I didn't want to like go on birth control and start taking progesterone, which is, basically their own solution. So I did acupuncture, and that worked. I mean, the cyst grew back, the chocolate cyst grew back, but it did worked to sort of keep it from growing as big, and it sort of managed everything, and then the question was, was I going to try to do this all the way to menopause? How long was menopause going to be? And, all of that. So what ended up happening though was I started bleeding, and I basically bled heavily for about 5 months. And so I was, unbelievably anemic. And so when I started this was at when I started eating carnivore, I was probably at month 4 of really heavy bleeding. And by that time, I was really feeling weak and depleted. And I didn't understand that that's what was going on. So I kind of thought I had stopped going to the gym and through various life things. And so I just thought, well, I'm just getting deconditioned. But it was going up the subway stairs, I'd get to the top and I'd be heaving. So, yeah. And so it wasn't until then that I understood, I went for a test and for something else, and they had tested my blood and discovered I was super anemic. And so it was upon then that I realized what was happening. And so, so I think for me specifically, eating that red meat, it was just oh, this is life, literally.
Yeah, your body probably wanted more and more.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So then I, going back to the doctors, I had a great surgeon who was wonderfully talented and really a caring person, but, I feel like we're sort of in the dark ages when it comes to women's health. And so, I was, so I was basically told, we can put you on progesterone, which you will take the rest of your life. And if you come off of it, you're going to bleed and you'll never be able to stop the bleeding. We can, take out your ovary and hope for the best. We can put you on Mirena, which basically locally supplies progesterone to your uterus. We can give you a hysterectomy, or we can do an ablation, which is where they take acid and they burn the inside of your uterus so that it can no longer bleed. And I'm like, this is
what option do I pick? Right. These are great options.
Terrible. And it's if you took you bled me and used, tried to adjust my humors. This is what it sounded like to me. So, so through all of this, I've been keto since, I think it was 2016, and keto fixed a lot of things for me, but it did not really resolve this hormonal issue. And in talking to my doctor, she was kind of like, yeah, usually, losing weight helps a lot with these hormonal stuff, but, it didn't for me. So I don't know,
How much did you lose a day? I've lost almost 33 pounds. How much have you lost since you've been on this journey?
I lost 80 pounds.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah.
So
it's a big shift.
Yeah. So I don't know. Things probably could have been worse had I, not lost the weight. But, for me, things have not completely resolved. So at this point, I ended up having to go to an herbalist who gave me something that did help me to stop bleeding, which obviously was critically important. And I'm still anemic. I still have not bounced back all of the way. And
how much red meat are you eating in a day?
Oh, every meal. Yeah.
Okay. So quantity, me personally, I'm almost at 1.5 pounds of red meat. If I eat 2 full ribeyes in a day, that's a lot of red meat for me. So what are you eating in a day?
Well, I think that was another challenge that I had. So in the beginning, I had some gastrointestinal distress upon going to carnivore. And I think, a little bit of it, is the shift in the gut microbiome. But I think the biggest thing for me was that I was trying to eat these prescribed macros and a prescribed amount of meat that, everybody is saying that we should be having. And I was not listening to what my body wanted. And so it took a while for me to just say, forget it. I'm not going to do what all these other people are saying. I'm just going to eat as much as I desire and then stop. And, and I've spent my life dieting. So I've spent decades trying to stop listening to my own body signals. So it's really, really hard for me. And to this day, I still struggle with just listening to what my body says. So, you know, some days
I want to stop you just for a second. I want everyone to hear what she just said. It is not just you, the person who's watching this, that is struggling. It is the majority of the world struggles around food. It is a very big thing. It's a hot button for us women. And I don't want you to beat yourself up. I just talked about this in my video last week, is you have to learn to listen to your body. And sometimes that can take you a year or 2 years. This is not like a quick fix for everybody. For me personally, I had to really be still and let my body tell me what it wanted. And I also said the same thing yesterday in my video that I filmed was, I'm like, I don't agree with them. Like, even though they may be the doctors or the scientists or whatever, I have to listen to my body, and I can't eat 5 pounds of meat in a day or 3 pounds of meat in a day or 2 pounds. I just couldn't. I could never get up to it. So I'm almost 5 months on this journey a day, and I'm literally probably at a pound to a pound and a half every day of animal protein.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had to accept that, you know, the amount that I'm having is going to change day by day, depending on what I do,
Yes.
what I did yesterday, what I'm doing tomorrow, you know, and then that's okay. And that my body knows exactly how much I need. And you know, it's funny, I know, you know, you have a very spiritual approach. What's funny is that once I started to listen to what my body said, you know, once your ears open, you know, you hear everything. And so it really kind of has changed, you know, my whole outlook to start listening to my body. You know, I'm hearing everything, and it really is, it's really quite different. But I think the addition of fasting has also really, really helped me to start understanding appetite and hunger in a different way. So I wouldn't suggest starting out with fasting when you're just starting out in carnivore, because there's a lot
Agreed.
of changes, and you know, you got a lot to get used to. But I'm now coming up on, you know, 2 years in this world, and so it's time for me to start. And you know, I personally am a person who uses food emotionally, so you know, it really is hard for me to you know, it is important for me to kind of start delving into this relationship I have with food. And so I can still eat emotionally, even though I'm only eating from the animal kingdom, and I'm not, you know, overeating or not massively overeating. You know, you can still eat food and use food emotionally, even on a smaller scale. And so with fasting, it lays bare everything. I mean, once you take out food, like, it's all gone, and you know, there's nothing to do but like really start to understand what that relationship is. And so I'm starting to really question, you know, what is hunger? Once you start like really, you know, getting those hunger hormones in check, I'm starting to think like we're not really meant to be hungry. Like, our signal for hunger is more like feeling weak or, you know, losing performance. It's not about, you know, the stomach growling and having this desire for food. And then that makes me realize, like, I require so little food to, you know, to really operate, that it's kind of like, oh man. So I don't know. So I'm still in right now exploring. Like you've probably seen on Instagram, I have these weekly fasts, and I think you know, I'm in week 7 now. So you know, each fast has been different. You know, each fast is a learning opportunity, and I think, you know, it's probably going to take another 6 months before, you know, I really kind of get it and get in my groove.
And that's what I want to say to everybody too, is fasting is, first of all, it's been around for thousands of years. I don't care how you worship, it's been around forever. Okay. Every walk of people do it. And people, you want to go back like 1,000, 2,000 years, they didn't have a opportunity not to fast, right? Like they were forced to fast because food wasn't plentiful like it is today. So you don't have to be afraid of fasting, everyone. I mean, I've talked about this before, but it's really important to learn what your body's going to do through fasting, how you're going to do it, how you're going to come out of it, and what you're going to learn from each fast. I think is a really good thing to tell people. What would you say for people that are going through the holidays that want to get started, but they're addicted to food? How would you tell them to get started? What would you say? What's your advice?
Well, for sure, get a buddy. Like as much as I know about, fasting and about nutrition and everything, it's still really hard to do it on your own. And so, I started this group really for selfish reasons because I wanted people to and so we really are all helping each other. But it really helped to have somebody that I could just send a message to and say, I'm starving, or I want to eat. And so getting that out really helped a lot. And then the other thing that what really helped me was to be constantly checking my blood sugar levels and my ketone levels. And so it helped me to kind of understand, like, why am I starving in this moment, or why am I so food focused in this moment, and to know that my hunger hormones are shifting, or this is what's happening. So
right, a lot of people don't understand too that if you're carb addicted, if you're coming to this carb addicted and you're eating a standard American diet and you're not keto, first of all, and you're coming to carnivore, you have to remember you're going to go through cycles of carb die-off in the body, and the body is going to go through these cycles. So every time you do fast, you're going to go through a different cycle where the body's going to change and adapt and heal. So there's like deeper levels of healing. And since you've only been in this for 7 weeks, I want to encourage you that, don't even be hard on yourself, and don't make it that you have to do long fast yet. Go into fasting like, okay, I'm going to just do 24 hours once a week. I'm just going to conquer 24 hours. Okay, now I'm going to be able to do a 36-hour once a month. All right, now I'm going to do 48 hours once a month. Okay, I think I can do a longer fast. And if you just take a 6-month period of time, everybody, you're not going to stress your system. You're not going to stress yourself. And as women, I really want everybody to hear this. Your hormones need you to be gentle with your body. We don't want to jack up your adrenals. We don't want to jack up your insulin levels. We don't want to jack up all that stuff. We want to be gentle with our bodies. So be gentle with yourself as you continue on this fasting journey. And when your body says it's time to eat, listen to your body. If you've gotten through the 24, 36 hours and you feel in your body that you need to eat. Like, that's what I tell people all the time. It's really bad to not pay attention, because your body may be at the point of the healing that it just needs that bone broth, right? Like just something to get you through. So I want to encourage everybody, please, women, especially you women, you want to be gentle with yourself. And what both of us have are, and I'll put all of Aday's information for you guys to be able to know how to follow her, to get into her group. It'll all be on the video. And when she shares this on her channel, we'll do the exact same thing so you guys know how to find me and my support group. I think it's really important that you go back and just listen to what she just said before. Like, rewind 3 minutes and listen to what Aday just said. This has been a journey for her. It's taken her 2 years to get here. That if you're not ready to fast in the beginning, there's no hard and fast rules. And be gracious with yourself so that you can do this carnivore journey in the best light to heal yourself. Because I just feel like people have expectations. She lost weight really quick, I'm going to lose weight really quick. Or she lost 80 pounds, I'm going to lose 8 pounds. No, you're you. Aday is her, and I'm myself, and we both have come in with these health challenges through the years, and our diets through the years, and our addictions through the years, and here we are today after all the work that we've done. So just be gracious with yourself. That's how I would like to, close out my part, is just to say, just be gracious with yourself, and don't compare yourself to anybody else, and allow yourself the time that your body needs to heal. It's not about weight loss for me. It's really about healing.
Yeah. Well, and I think that with carnivore, with both carnivore and keto, it keeps you from spiking blood sugar, and it can help with sort of managing your metabolism. But I don't think that it actually makes you more insulin sensitive. And I feel like the only way to get there is through fasting. And so over the last 7 weeks with fasting, now I'm still having trouble with, once I end the fast, then eating more, so I've lost a little bit of weight, but I haven't really lost weight. And that's partly, maybe I've lost 5 pounds, but, and I really think it's because I'm still managing how to come off of a fast and not kind of overeating afterwards. But even with the overeating, I see a great benefit in my body with the fasting. So, the weight loss, I think, is probably, for me, I don't feel like I'm high risk anymore. So that's not like a top priority. But in terms of inflammation, I'm still working on my eczema. So my allergies have gone and my asthma is gone. My eczema is still an issue, and I can see when it flares up and then when it comes down. And so through the last 7 weeks of fasting, it has definitely improved a lot. And I know that is really from the fasting. So so separate and apart from weight loss, like fasting really does bring all of these benefits that I had, resisted for a long time. And I do see that it is making me more insulin sensitive. And I do believe it is repairing my metabolism. So as I get used to the fasting, I do see that it does take time to really make this a lifestyle and to kind of get, in your head that like, I am going to eat again. This is not like an emergency. So I think that I'm probably going to be one of those people that takes a longer time. Some people they do this 2 weeks and they're like, all right, I got this. For me, it's going to take a little bit longer, but I do see like the benefit. So this is something that I do want to incorporate for a lifetime. So I'm, willing to, put the time in and just, kind of deal with this for now. But I know that eventually I'm going to get this part under control, and then, this is it for me. But I do think a big part of it, though, is really for me to trust my body in terms of how much I need to eat. Because I'm still coming off thinking, well, I didn't eat for this number of days, so I need to get this much protein or I'm going to lose muscle. But I got to stop listening to these guys like Paul Saladino and, Ted Naiman and so on. I should be in the gym like that, but I'm not. So sometimes I've heard Cole Robinson say that, the women he works with have a metabolism of a large house cat. And I'm like, yeah, that's about
right. And that's really, I think this is a good point for us to close out on is everybody, again, she just said it again, we all have to find our metabolic balance. It's really important for you to start to pay attention to what your body does through each stage of this. Every month your body's going to change. Every 4 months, every cell in your body regrows itself. So it's going to be a constant changing. And also, you don't have to be in the gym all the time as someone who's carnivore. So you don't have to beat yourself up that, oh, I might not be as strong. You will be strong. Your body is going to build the muscle that it needs, and you're not going to lose. And that's really important for all the women to hear out there. You don't have to kill yourself in the gym to get healthy, to gain weight, to lose weight and gain muscle. So that's why I've been so excited as a smaller person that I've lost this weight. Now my body composition has changed, and it's not because I was killing myself in the gym. And I'm going to be 52 this year, which is pretty exciting. So I just want to thank you for being on and sharing your story and all that you do on, social media and all the people that you're helping. Thank you, because I think it's so important for us women to reach out to each other, encourage each other, and really help women learn how to take care of their health and reclaim it. So thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
All right, you too.